Ladies and gentlemen, I am Morganin. What are we waiting for? There's Witcher's work to be done. So once again, I've simply been away for much longer than I intended. With this new year, I actually had intended to start scheduling time for recording and editing and uploading, and I knew I wouldn't be able to get to it straight away, but this has taken a little bit longer than I anticipated due to the fact that, I won't go too long with the explanations, but basically a coworker of mine is out on medical leave, so I've been picking up extra shifts at work. My sleeping problems took a turn for the worse in the last couple of weeks, but I think they're starting to improve. And truth be told, I actually did try to record this episode twice yesterday. Both times I was extremely unhappy with the results, so I just deleted it, and now I'm going to try again. Basically, the problem is, when we get into the first chapter, there's kind of like a lot of things that happen at once, and I just got kind of confused, and I wasn't really sure where I was going, and I ended up screwing up a couple dialogues and that kind of thing, and it got me to thinking that in the future, I'll probably, before recording, like a day or two before recording, I'll probably fire up the game, advance, just play for a little while just to kind of get my bearings and realize where I need to go and what I need to do, and just kind of know what's ahead of me, for especially with the start of new segments and everything. It's easy to in this game, it's easy to get kind of lost and overwhelmed by a lot of dialogue that you have to do at once, a lot of quest triggers that start to happen, and all this kind of thing. So from now on, I'm gonna play in advance for 15 minutes, and then when I'm ready to record, I'll reload from the end of the last episode, and I'll have some kind of bearings to guide me forward from that point on. Anyway, one thing I did miss in the first episode was a couple dialogues with Vizima. One of them triggered a quest. That's not really a big deal because we could also trigger it later on, but I just wanted to take care of it now so you all see what that dialogue is. And there's also, if you exhaust his dialogue, you'll get a special item from him, this red meteorite here. And this is a weapon upgrade. It's quite useful, but we need to take... hang on. Can be used by a smith to forge a sword. So... this will be useful. We can use it to upgrade weapons if we take it to a smith later, and there is actually a smith in the very beginning of the first chapter. So we'll pay a visit to him and see what he has in store. He's actually one of the characters who I screwed up the dialogue with. I'll get to it when we come to it, but basically you have to be careful of the dialogues in this game because some of the NPCs are very fickle, and they will be insulted easily, and you'll have a lot of trouble dealing with them afterwards. So we're going to have to tread lightly, walk on eggshells from now on. But anyway, before we continue, I have reloaded this just so I could show you the dialogues I missed with Vizima, which I have pre-recorded and will insert here. So you all can get a look at that before we move on.
Are there other Witchers?
There were 3 Witcher schools in all, but it's been long since I've heard word of the other 2. You've met all the Witchers I know of, except for Berengar.
Did I know him?
I don't believe so. An introvert, he chose his own path. Actually, none here can say they know Berengar. He often ran away from Kaer Morhen, though he would always return in the end. After the trial of the grasses, he finally accepted his destiny and started training for real.
Why isn't he here?
I don't know. We lost touch with him a while back.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Do you and Triss argue often?
Not too much. Sorceresses and their vain glory. Though compared to others, Triss seems an angel. Thanks for backing me. Oh, I have something for you. You might find this meteorite useful.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Who was Leo?
One of hundreds of orphans of the war with Nilfgaard. I apprenticed him 6 years ago.
I'm sorry.
We'll recover our secrets and find Leo's murderers, even if they fled to the end of the world.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
You mentioned defending Kaer Morhen before.
Yes. 15 Witchers once lived here, training boys for their trials. Only they knew the secrets of mutation. Witchers who set out on the path and failed to assimilate among humans wintered here. Before the battle, 23 witches and 40 students called Kaer Morhen home. Too damned few for the mob that attacked. I never knew why they came. Some say a sudden explosion of anger born of disdain for witches. But no. Someone provoked the mob with flyers filled with lies. Special agents read them to the peasants. Truer still, the fanatics could never have taken the fort without the aid of sorcerers, though they outnumbered us by far. They didn't even spare the youngest. I alone survived, concealed among the corpses. Walk around, Wolf. The skeletons remain. You may find a flyer, there used to be hundreds. Memorize it as a warning of the evil humans can perpetrate.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Any idea who attacked?
No, but the mage suggests no ordinary bandits. We found pins adorned with salamanders on the dead. The symbol of their organization, perhaps? I sense hard times ahead.
We'll speak later.
Alright then, so I had to reload to the part right before the scene with Leo's funeral, because once that cutscene ends, we go straight into the first chapter and everything kind of kicks off really suddenly. So we're just going to skip ahead a bit here, right past that cutscene. I think I will show the later half of it because I can't remember if I included it in the last video. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Witcher, and let us begin.
Caroline, I'm tired.
It's not far now, we'll be there soon.
I'm cold.
We'll fetch you warm milk and honey. You'd like that.
Very much. Thank you, Caroline. What are those dogs doing?
Dogs?
Those are no dogs.
Alvin, do exactly as I say. This is important. Run to the end as fast as you can, and don't look back. Understand?
They're evil dogs.
Run!
What the hell? Shut the gate, quickly! The beast! The beast is attacking! Sound the alarm!
Well, that was lucky. You guards almost had a child's death on your conscience.
Geralt!
Woman,
Melatelli must have sent you. There's a woman outside. The dogs will tear her apart. Help her! Help! No!
Don't open the gate! The beasts will enter! These dogs are deadly. You people are monsters! Stand aside! I'll save them myself!
Stop. Don't go out there alone.
Damn you! We're all going to die!
all that bravado, you sure didn't last long. Come on, attack the fool.
What was that?
Magic, surely.
The beast!
The beast.
Geralt, look!
The time of the sword and axe approaches. The time of the white frost and white light. The time of madness and disdain. To Dayrate, the final age. The world will perish amidst ice and be reborn with the new sun. Reborn of elder blood, of hen Icair, of a planted seed. A seed that will not sprout but burst into flames.
Could you repeat that part about the whole thing?
The old elven prophecy of Itlena. I hope he's all right.
It seems he saved us from the beast.
Yes, seems so.
I think I
I
saved
do
us.
hope he's not hurt. I'll need to find someone to take care of him. He shouldn't be alone. We'll stay at the inn in the meantime.
Wait a minute. I ran into wild dogs on my way here, but they were nothing like these, and I don't mean just the green fur. Know anything about them?
They've been terrorizing the village for some time. Every few days, a villager is killed. The pack is led by a large hound, perhaps a wolf. People call it the beast.
Someone might pay to have the beast slain.
That's what witchers do, isn't it? But enough about monsters. What brings you here?
I'm seeking men who wear the sign of the salamander. Seen anyone like that in the area?
Shh, not so loud. There was someone, but the peasants grow silent at the mere mention of him. The Reverend might know more. You may also want to ask him about the beast.
I'll do that.
Did you want to ask me something?
Sure, because a boy writhing in pain back there, he can wait.
It's been a long time since I've heard mention of Salamandra. Do you know anything about them?
I think they're a group of bandits who terrify the locals. Yesterday, they returned a boy they'd whipped with a lamia.
A lamia?
A mayhen crop with small barbs and hooks. It rips away skin and flesh with each strike. Most civilized countries have banned them. The boy was delirious. Muttered something about a ransom and the Reverend. Sadly, he grew feverish, and he died that night.
Thanks. I may stay longer than I planned.
Why the interest in Salamandra?
They killed someone I was fond of, and stole something of mine.
I wouldn't want to be them.
Do we know each other?
It's me, Shani. Don't you recognize me? Whatever happened to you? I heard you died during a massacre in Rivia.
Unfortunately, I lost my memory. I recall the last few weeks, nothing more.
I'm afraid I can't help. Medicine's a fledgling science here in the north. I can say that your memory might come back on its own.
It's not that bad. I'm actually getting used to it.
I hate to admit it, but sorcerers are somewhat more effective at this than we are. Maybe one of them could help.
What brings you to this village?
I'm traveling to St. Lebioda's hospital in Vizima to help fight the Catriona plague.
When are you leaving?
Once I've helped the victims of the dog attacks, I guess. I can't abandon them. It'll delay me, but some are certain to die without my aid.
So what'll become of Alvin?
I don't know. I'll look after him for now. Maybe a villager will take him in.
He seems clever enough. Surely someone will want him.
Did you want to ask me something?
We'll speak later.
Alright, well, it seems we can't... Well, he was on his feet rather quickly. Seems we can't really turn up anywhere without finding somebody we know. Well, unfortunately, that was quite the massacre. There's nary a fool left. This guy went to fight a bunch of dogs. What the hell does he even have? Just a knife. Oh, Bargus skull. I guess we'll collect those all here. And some ectoplasm. So these are not mere dogs, they are ghostly dogs. What kind of guards do you hire around here? Can't even handle a couple of spectral dogs. Alright then, well, we cannot really leave the area until dawn, seeing as the beast seems to linger at night. But really, we can just rest at any campfire and wait until morning. But while we're here, we might as well just have a run of the place, speak to a few fools. Such as this fellow here, Vizima Herbalist. Let's have a word with you.
Greetings.
You are a pudgy fellow.
What a despicable place. I'm trapped here with my goods while my wife and children wait in the city.
Why's that?
Vizima's gates are closed due to the plague. The gods be my witness, nothing ruins trade like an epidemic.
I guess we just have to wait.
Most of the diseased have died off, but the beast and bandits now spread their own terror. All we're missing are tax collectors.
Can I ask you something?
Yes?
What's with this plague?
What of it? 'Tis some variety of the bubonic. To be safe, I avoid any who appear even slightly ill. Aren't you afraid?
I'm immune to infectious diseases.
My grandfather claimed the same, insisting all the while that his bubonic ulcers were merely boils.
May the ground lie lightly upon him.
Yes?
Tell me about the beast.
I overheard it described as a phantom, appearing from nowhere, murdering those with a heavy conscience.
Interesting.
Oh, of course, it's always a plague for the wicked.
Royal
The
officials would
sinful.
make a true feast for the beast, and other ghosts serve it, apparently in the form of untiring bloodhounds.
I'll have to ask the locals.
Yes?
Yes.
Any bandits in the outskirts?
Indeed. They call themselves the militia and extort bribes. Also, some sect from Vizima may have arrived here.
Do these men wear the salamander sign?
Never met them. But if they are a sect, the Reverend ought to know something.
I'll ask him.
Yes?
Alright, let's see what you have for sale. He is an herbalist. So he's got some alchemy ingredients, some food and drink, and some books on plants, which are far outside our price range at the moment. Anyway, before we really go on, I wanted to address another one of the things that's really been delaying me is me trying to optimize this game as much as possible. This game is really badly optimized on newer systems. So even though my computer, my graphics card and processor are more than enough to handle this game, it's really tricky, it seems, to get this game to utilize the full potential of my hardware. In particular, I think I've gotten a little bit better, but in particular I was having problems like around here. It was dropping to like 30 frames a second when I was loading stuff outside the gate. I'm not sure what I did to fix it. I did have to drop anisotropic filtering down from max and small animal number. That probably doesn't really affect it too much. But I did try to override some of the default settings with settings in the NVIDIA Control Center, but none of that really seemed to make a difference. Actually, it did make a difference. It made the game run so much worse. So I turned all those off, and now, for whatever reason, it seems to be doing better. There is also a trick. Maybe I'll make a video showing it for people. I don't know if I want to make a video because I have to find the source I got it from and credit them properly. But basically, there's a little trick you can do to optimize this game on a multi-core processor. And that's something I need to do pretty much before any attempt to record. Otherwise, there'll be certain points where one core of my processor just gets maxed out and the other 7 don't do a damn thing.
A notice board. Maybe I can find some witcher's work.
Oh yes, there's always a bulletin board full of contracts just waiting for a witcher to pop up. Barghest contract, 10 Barghest skulls to Abigail the herbalist. Dealing with drowners on the riverbank. Bring 3 brains to prove it. Inquire with the Reverend. Alright, now some of these monster contracts you need to have an entry in your bestiary in order to complete them, because in order to get the trophies from them, you need to know, you need to have some in-depth knowledge about the creature. Now, this is an arrest warrant for the professor. Well, I'd take him down even if he didn't pay me, the bastard. Alright, well, let's head on inside. To meditate in inns, talk to the innkeeper and left-click meditation. Now, this is actually completely pointless because you do have to pay the innkeeper to have the privilege to rest at his inn. Even though you pay for a room, you only rest by the fire. There's no point to doing that because there are campfires everywhere in this game. You should have no trouble finding one. Alright, Shani has nothing more for us at this point.
We'll speak later.
You saved me, right?
I helped.
I wonder what'll happen to me now.
Waiting for your kin to come?
No. My family has passed on.
Sorry, kid.
It's alright. I barely knew them.
Oh, what a troubled life this little boy has had. Alright, so clearly we've got some manner of fight club here. Now the fist fighting in this game is... If you thought the QTEs in The Witcher 2 were bad, oh my goodness, you have seen nothing yet. Alright, let's start with the skinny guy.
Wanna fight? Got any money?
Oh, that's weird. It seems to have a random scale for your stakes. Generally, if you try to max it out,
No way, not me.
it seems like the guys will never accept it. So, generally about halfway is a sure thing. We'll see if he'll do 15. Nope.
Wanna
I'm not really sure what dictates whether or not they'll accept your bet.
No way.
I don't know if it has anything to do with your stats, but I haven't even upgraded any stats yet, so...
No pain, no gain.
We'll see.
Alright, so we'll hop into this right quick. Now, left click to attack them, right click and hold to block your opponent's punches. You'll see just how basic the fist fighting is in this game.
No challengers. Who wants to get slapped? Hit me, chickie.
Now, all I did to that guy was left click. For some reason, it seems like the wimpy fighters, you can just spam them to death. And it doesn't even seem like you can combo them the way you do in normal sword combat. Even though you see that, like, the yellow outline pop up on the little fist icon, it seems like you can combo. But it doesn't actually seem to be the case. You end up just spamming them. And I've never been able to pull off a combo against the other guys, so I don't think it's actually possible. Anyway, let's see if you're up for it.
Want a beating, stranger? We fight for money.
Do ya? Well, put your organs where your mouth is. Start with 20.
I'll kick your ass and make money doing it.
We'll see.
Will you? Alright then. Now against the big guys, you'll find that trying to combo your attacks seems to be impossible. So you see, even though I'm clicking at the right time, I'm just getting hit. But if you hold right click, you will never get hit.
Who wants to get slapped?
What's up?
You fight like a
Of course, it does wear off after a while, but really all you have to do is punch, dodge, punch, dodge, punch, dodge. And if the enemy does dodge your punch, it is actually possible to just follow it up immediately and hit them. They don't seem to attack after dodging right away, so you can usually just keep throwing punches until you hit them and then dodge.
You win, wanderer. Take your coin and leave me be.
I just realized he has a tattoo of a naked woman's outline on his chest. That's kind of funny.
Want a beating, stranger?
You sound just like the last guy.
No way.
How about 25? Ah, you are a pussy. 20 then. Alright, let's have at it, brother.
You fight like a lass. No challengers. Who wants to get slapped?
Alright, so y'all can see that the fist fighting minigame is not exactly thrilling. So I think from now on, because it does turn out to be pretty profitable, I will continue to do it. I just will probably either skip it or fast forward it in the videos.
I'm itching to hit someone.
Well then hit me!
I'm itching to hit someone.
Alright, fine. Guess we gotta deal with Fat Fred here.
Some tournament going on?
We beat each other for coin.
Sounds like fun.
Fat Fred will rearrange your face, just show me your gold.
How much?
25 orens.
You're hardly any more bold than the rest of them. Alright then, Fat Fred.
Itching to slap somebody.
Well, I'm itching to punch somebody. What kind of fighting gesture is that? Oh, thanks, Shani. That was actually Shani healing me back there. It's actually kind of hilarious. So you saw he dodged there. He didn't counterattack or anything, so I could just hit him again straight away. And that's that, ladies and gentlemen. We are champion of this arena.
You win.
My reward?
Choose 2 flasks of supreme moonshine and a snack to go with them. A ring or cash.
Vodka and a chaser, a ring, or some gold. Now, I'm not really sure which one's worth what. I'll just go with the ring.
Never liked it.
So what kind of obscure magical artifact have you given us here? Oh. Well, at least it's worth something. And we have leveled up. Now, I have yet to show off the level up minigame, I'm sorry, the level up interface yet. Once again, we're just going to do it outside because there's no sense paying for a room when we have campfires out here that do the exact same thing. Oh, for some reason that one went out, so I had to waste a flint light in it. Alright, so the way this works is a little bit strange. You see these talents here. Basically, every time you level up, you get talents. And until you have to reach a certain level before you start getting the silver talents, and then later the gold talents. Which, of course, each of those is required to level up to get the upper tier abilities. And each branch here, you have to unlock the first skill in each branch. You can tell because they have the Roman numerals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you unlock that skill, you can get every other one in the branch, and you can also move on to the next branch. And that's true of every single thing here. So you see there are a lot of things you can level up. Everything from steel sword abilities, silver sword abilities, the different signs, which we've only got one sign right now, so unlocking these doesn't really help much. And of course your attributes. So, as you can see, even though we've just completed the intro, we already have 12 talents. So you can get a lot of skills really quick in this game, but I'm not sure if it's really possible to max your character out completely before the end of the game, but it's not really that big of a deal if you don't invest your stats too wisely in the beginning. You just have to, it's good to plan what exactly you want to do. Being the way I am, I'll probably focus on sword combat more than anything else. So intelligence will affect stuff like signs and alchemy. Stamina affects resistances and just like combat abilities. Dexterity affects your like evasion and certain like critical abilities. Strength for force is just straight up damage. So let's do that, because that just makes the art much more applicable in group scenarios. And I also want, okay, apparently I can't do that. I need level 1 intelligence to do that. So let's get level 1 intelligence. do that so we can get the disarm ability. Now that's going to make the Ard pretty much invaluable against groups of melee characters because we have a chance to disarm them, which weakens them immensely, but we also have the 180-degree knockdown potential. Now, there's a couple of abilities here in the first branch of strength. Buzz means that you can, when you're intoxicated, you have an increased resistance to basic damage, but your parry and dodge abilities suffer, and you also have to be intoxicated. And the intoxicated status effect is really annoying. Your character moves incredibly slowly, and everything is just really clumsy. And to be honest, this is completely useless. And True Grit means when your vitality, aka your health, is less than 25%, you get 50% immunity, 50% more resistance to damage. Also seems really useless. It just, I don't know. Any ability that unlocks when you're under 25% health, or like under a certain amount of health, I don't tend to favor those kind of abilities in any game, so I'm not too fussed about that. But if we do level up, we can get to this, which is more health regeneration. Unlocks power up during fistfights. That's not a big deal because fistfights are an absolute joke. I do want to get the deflect arrows ability. Archers, as I said in the first episode, are probably one of the most annoying things about this game. Now this, we unlock the full array of moves during fistfights. Again, that's not really that necessary, but it at least makes them a little bit more exciting. So we already have the first tier unlocked in every single group of sword fighting abilities, so we can just progress from there. So this increases our bleed potential, damage, and even more damage when we have less than 15% vitality. And again, not really a big deal in my opinion. So a lot of these just end up, they're just like the third tier, like they just progressing up the tier for the same exact abilities, just passive perks. So nothing in the sword categories are really that exciting, except each time you unlock the next level, you get a new combo that follows up the previous one. So I'll unlock this just so we can demonstrate that. I'll do the same for fast. And the same for group. And perhaps we'll do another. The Ard in general is probably the most useful sign in my opinion. At least as far as the offensive ones go. We're not going to worry about Silver Sword right now because we're not going to get a Silver Sword for a while. Let's just go ahead and do that. And get some of our resistances up. Alright, so I don't know if I'll go so in-depth explaining my level up choices in the future, but I will show you every time I make changes to my character just so you all know what I'm up to. But I might just kind of fast forward it. Anyway, Innkeeper Olaf. Oh, is Fred your twin brother or something?
What do you want?
Give me a beer.
Your kind's not welcome here.
And what kind is that?
Beer.
We have no more. Very well. I'll see what I have.
Ah, that's right.
Everyone drink up. We're closing.
Innkeeper, do that again and I'll get angry. Wouldn't want that, would you?
No.
All right. I'll just tend to my business and be on my way.
What can I do for you?
I'm a witcher.
Ah, by the eternal fire.
Have any work for me?
No. Ask the Reverend.
Okay, I'll speak with him.
What can I do for you?
Why the gloom?
I don't talk to strangers.
do you for 5 orens?
Well, you make a terrible bartender if you never talk to anybody. Alright, we'll pay 5 orens to speak with a fellow.
The plague was devastating. People died in droves. The wailing lingered for 3 moons. If not for the Reverend, we'd all have perished. No wonder we're wary of strangers. You don't know what it's like when the plague takes your family. The Reverend prayed all day to the eternal fire, taking no sustenance. His penance freed us from sin and strengthened our faith. We began by cleansing our homes of sin and filth. We gathered it up, and by the next day, all our foulness was buried or gone. The Reverend then spoke to all who remained. You have done well cleansing your households of sin. I know it was difficult, I know they be kin, but the eternal fire sent pestilence on them as punishment for their sins. You are pure, you shall live. And we believed him, then went outside. The frost was biting, but we did our penance, crawling round the village, praying at the 5 chapels. The next day the village was quiet, as if all were asleep. Fewer have fallen sick since.
An edifying tale. Thanks.
And of course, it always seems like fratricide is the best way to a god's good graces.
What can I...
I'm looking for someone who stayed at this inn.
Look around the tables, but at night guests retire to their rooms. Return tomorrow if you must talk to them.
All right, I'll look around.
What can I do for you?
Got a room?
Yes. For you, 5 orens.
Now, this is kind of funny. You pay 5 orens for a room, and all you get is a nice, comfy bearskin by the fire. I'd rather take my meditation outside. Now, the good thing about innkeepers, you can store stuff. Anything that you don't really need to keep on you. Quest items, if you're just kind of saving them, but you need to keep room in your inventory. Of course, potions don't stack for some reason. Actually, they should. Yeah, I don't know why those 2 weren't stacking. Keep that. Haven't read that yet. And Frightener's Vision. Nice. Well, why don't we do a little alchemizing, see if I can make that potion.
What do you want?
Always give strangers such a warm welcome.
It's all the same. The beast will have us all.
I'm glad we talked.
Let's celebrate.
Yeah, let's celebrate our impending doom. Participate in drinking contests to gain information and rewards. Characters often have a drink preference and may refuse anything but their favorite beverage. Outdrink your opponent, but take care not to pass out. Alright, let's drink. Gulp. Oh, another? Gulp. Oh, do we need yet another? I'm afraid I don't have any more booze, though. Oh, wait, yes I do. Oh, getting nice and toasted. Damn it. This guy is, this guy ain't no lightweight.
We're getting angry.
Well, good for you. Alright, so this is what it looks like when you're drunk. And you can see why this is a very annoying way to play the game. But if you actually do draw your weapon, you can move at full speed, if I recall correctly. Now, of course, in more civilized areas, drawing your weapon is frowned upon. So we can only do it when we're outdoors, but you'll see that once we put it away, suddenly we're stumbling again. So in reality, it's not all that bad to fight like this, it's just... the effects it has on, for example, your ability to dodge or parry, in my opinion, override any benefits you get from like the perks related to it. So we're gonna sleep off our buzz here and wait until morning. And once they open the gates, we'll be on our merry way. One of the perks of being a Witcher, of course, is immunity to hangovers.
Ah, crap. I'm wasting time.
Are ya? I don't give a shit. Now this here is the first blacksmith we encounter in this game. The first one, he is a merchant, but he can also make some improvements to our equipment. But he is a fickle fellow, so be careful and mince your words.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Yes, I'm a dwarf. No, I don't support the Scoia'tael. Yes, I've paid both taxes and bribes. Many times. Today, in fact.
Calm down, I just wanted to talk.
I'll be calm in my grave. Optimistically, that won't be long now.
I'll try not to miss the funeral.
Make sure and show up for the execution, too. They once herded me off to see a non-human get hanged. Let me tell you, laughed my head off.
I gather they don't like non-humans around here.
Neither here nor anywhere in the Northern Kingdoms. An official in Vizima recently won an innovation award. Invented a gallows especially designed for dwarves.
What's so innovative about that?
Nothing, but think of the savings. When you're producing them in the hundreds, all that extra wood can be used to make other goods. Toy swords, for instance.
Can I ask you something?
Yes?
Seem awfully excited about the the ingenuity of that fellow.
Who are the Scoia'tael?
Terrorists, or firebrands you'd call them. They're fighting for the rights of non-humans. Scoia'tael is Elven for squirrels, called that due to the squirrel tails that dangle from their caps.
So, you all probably recall, we did encounter the Scoia'tael more than once in the second game when I played it. So now we learn a little bit more about their origins in this game. Now, do not imply that he trades with them, because then he will shut you out and will not trade with you.
Will I find any around here?
You aiming to catch me off guard or just nosy? In any case, I'll not answer you.
Fine. I wouldn't want to cause you trouble. Let's talk about something else.
Yes?
Why do the locals persecute non-humans?
Why do pricks go in cunts? It's the natural order of things. Humans have always hated dwarves and elves. Not for me to know why.
I'm not sure I understand.
Then ponder it on your own. Or discuss it with that maggot Brog. I don't talk to strangers about these things.
Fine.
Yes?
Let's talk about weapons.
Well, I'm no specialist, though I can forge swords. Bring me 3 different ores and I'll forge you an excellent steel sword.
I'll look around for some ore.
Another thing. For 35 orens, you can have this excellent sword, Grease. It's not exactly, legal, but, I really need the gold.
Sure, I'll take it.
This grease improves the quality of rusty weapons. It's lard and some other ingredients. Listen.
Alright, well, we got a nice sword oil. Let's take a look at it. Where is it? Causes crippling pain to wounded creatures. So, as far as I know, what pain does is effectively stuns enemies.
I've got work to do.
Army life's tough.
I've got work to do.
Okay, well, apparently we can't trade with him right now. Alright then. Our business is done at the inn.
Damn, I'm thirsty.
So let us pay a visit to the village. Oh, it's a kitty cat. I gotta tread lightly around cats. I'm recalling back in the days of The Witcher 2, I seem to be a little trigger happy around them. Must be delicate. Alright, when we get into combat, I'm gonna start showing off the alternative weapons, just to show why I don't consider them anywhere near as useful as the Witcher swords, and why I generally, when I was playing this in the past, I did not really hang on to them. But I will probably read up a bit more to see if there is any actual applicable purpose to them.
I'll piss in the dwarf blacksmith's bellows for a prank.
Well, that's just rude. Alright, well, this has been a rather protracted episode. Oh. Well, that's dearly unfortunate. These people must have been consumed by the plague. And there's little of consequence in here. Saltpeter, alright, we can make bombs with that. So, as I said in my resolutions video, I we'll probably make an effort to keep these videos around 45 minutes, but generally between 30 minutes and an hour, because I know people don't really want to watch a video much longer than that, and anything shorter than that, I just don't feel like I've really made it worth your time, especially with how long I've been keeping you guys waiting for all this. So I'm sorry this episode wasn't all that exciting, but it's an RPG. What are you going to do? There's a lot of chat to be done, especially when we start a new section of the game. So hope you all enjoyed this video. Next time we'll probably get into something quite a bit more interesting and exciting. And until then, hope you all have a wonderful day.